According to the CDC, 1 out of every 1,900 babies are born with a limb reduction defect. Children born with missing or defective limbs will have numerous difficulties based on the extent of the damage. Children who are born with reduced or defective limbs struggle with motor coordination and are often limited to the activities they can do. There are no known causes of limb defects. However, research shows that there is a correlation between birth defects occurring and when a pregnant mother is exposed to certain medications, drugs, or alcohol. There are many different types of defects that could affect a child's limbs in many different ways, so there is also many different solutions to combat each. There is also an estimated 1 out of every 200 people in the United States have had an amputation due to an accident. There are many new medical technologies being developed to help children with limb defects or people who have lost a limb regain control of their lives. Depending on the severity of the damage, doctors decide whether it's better to try and reconstruct the limb or if it's better to perform an amputation.
The threshold for a surgeon to be able to say the leg cannot be saved and this is best treated with an amputation is a moving target. And that statement is something that has been said for a long time and is something that we still say. There are some legs that we cannot save and are going to be best treated with an amputation.
For replacing a partial missing hand or arm, it's important to know how much of the arm is missing. There are 8 main types of amputations of the hand and arm area. There is a partial finger amputations, in which the tips of 1 or more fingers are removed. There is metacarpal or transmetacarpal amputation, which a large portion of the hand is removed, but the wrist is still intact. There is wrist disarticulation, which is when the entire hand and wrist are removed. There is transradial amputation, which a portion of the arm is removed, but the elbow is still intact. There is elbow disarticulation, which the entire elbow is removed. There is transhumeral amputation, where there is a portion of the humerus is removed, but still leaves the shoulder intact. There is shoulder disarticulation, where the entire shoulder is removed. Last but not least, there is the 4-quarter amputation, where the whole arm and shoulder are removed, as well as the scapula and clavicle. After amputation, there is a wide range of prosthetic limbs and attachments that can replace the missing part. There are 3 main types of prosthetic hands. There is passive functional hand prosthesis. These are more realistic and affordable hands, but they don't do jack squat, so we won't talk about them much. There is body hand prosthesis. These hands are usually controlled by the movement of what's left on the arm and also the movements of the shoulder that are connected to a strap on the rear harness. These types of hands are still relatively affordable.
How these work, for those of you who don't know, there's this harness around my back, and if you'll notice under my armpit where this cable ends, it attaches to the harness. It attaches to this bicep pad, comes down, secures to the socket, and then ends right here at the terminal device, as they call it. And these are what they call body powered. And basically how these work is I just push resistance against the end of my arm. So if I push my arm out, it opens.
The last type of prosthetic hands are myoelectric hand prosthesis. These hands are electrically controlled and monitor electrical signals of muscle nerves in the existing stump and monitor things like the speed and strength of the arm movement. However, most myoelectric arms can only control one movement at a time. This is called sequential control. There is new technology being developed that will improve prosthetic hands. There are artificial muscles called hazel muscles being developed by the University of Colorado that are flexible and can also heal themselves when they are damaged. Not only are they flexible and self-healing, but they also cost as little as 10 cents to produce. Dr. Luke Osborne, researcher at Johns Hopkins University, is working on a prototype called the eDermis, which is a device that can be fitted to a prosthetic hand to give the user a sense of touch. Prosthetic hands are nowhere near as good as regular flesh and blood hands, but every year they will keep getting more and more advanced and will one day be nearly indistinguishable.